Hey guys, welcome to Series World. Today I'm going to explain an erotic thriller series called Dark Desire from 2020. Turn on subtitles and spoilers ahead. The 6th episode opens with the playing of a videotape where Alma is singing a birthday song to little Zoe, who is hiding behind the couch. Leonardo is also singing with Alma and urges Zoe to come out. Suddenly, a call comes to Leonardo's phone and he picks it up. Alma gets frustrated as they are in the middle of the celebration. But Leonardo tells her that it's urgent and he has to go because an inmate has committed suicide. The scene changes to the present, and Alma is seen driving to her workplace. While driving, she is rewinding what Esteban told her about Dario and his father. Esteban told her that Dario's father, Antonio, was the rapist and murderer of a little girl named Leslie Delgado. He got 30 years in prison but didn't accept his sentence and shot himself to death in front of Dario and his mom. Now, Dario is using her to get back to Leonardo. Alma suspects if his father is truly guilty, but Esteban tells her to look at his case files, and the doubts will clear up. After reaching campus, she checks the files inside her car. After that, she keeps them inside her bag and locks the bag. Suddenly, Dario knocks at her car's window, startling her. The story turns to Esteban, who is having breakfast with Leonardo in a restaurant. Leonardo tells him how his marriage life has improved now with Alma. He also reveals to Esteban that he might take a leave from work for some time. But Esteban seems to be drowned in his thoughts. He then tells Leonardo that they have to visit Leslie Delgado's case again, as it might be tied to Brenda's case. Leonardo gets frustrated hearing this, and tells him that it was long closed and has nothing to do with Brenda's suicide. Esteban reminds Leonardo that it was the most important case of Leonardo's life, and then tells him that Brenda was a witness in this case, so they should reconsider. Leonardo disagrees and leaves the restaurant. Esteban then calls Vallejo to know if he has any updates on the case. The scene changes to Alma going to class when Dario tries to talk to her. He apologizes to her for acting crazy. He adds that he was afraid to lose her and that's why he acted that way. Alma tells him to forget about it as their relationship is over now. Dario pleads with her that he won't mess with her marriage and will accept any conditions. Alma tells him that the situation has changed now, so they can't continue this. Dario then reminds her how much he loves her and tells her that he also knows that Alma loves him too. Alma tells him that he doesn't know her feelings. Dario then requests her to not leave him. Alma doesn't reply and asks for some time as Leonardo has also started to suspect her. Alma then leaves with her students to go to class. The scene then cuts to Zoe, who is in her pathological anatomy class, and her focus seems to be on her phone rather than the class. Background changes to Alma as she takes her class on online grooming. She quotes an article on grooming when a text arrives from Dario asking if they can meet after class. Alma sees the text and puts her phone away. While Dario is texting Alma, Zoe sends a message to his phone asking where he is. Alma continues teaching about how criminals create fake profiles to prey on young people. The irony of Dario grooming Zoe becomes apparent. Esteban is later seen in Vallejo's office, where Vallejo shows him the last 48 hours of footage outside Brenda's condo when Brenda was alive. Esteban takes the footage DVD and questions why Brenda's statement is missing from Leslie's files. Vallejo suggests he ask his brother, as it was his case. Meanwhile, Alma finishes her class and Dario approaches her, asking for her time to ask some questions. Alma agrees but tells him to wait for a moment and leaves talking to another student. Dario returns to the classroom, noticing Alma forgot her bag. He takes it back to his place and tries to open the lock. As Dario struggles with the lock, Zoe arrives at his office looking for a friend. Dario asks if her friend works there, but Zoe explains her friend brought a car there, and she needs information about him. Dario asks for her friend's name to find out his information, but Zoe tells him that she doesn't know her friend's name, only his online nickname, Animus. Dario laughs, admitting he doesn't know clients' online nicknames. Zoe, embarrassed, prepares to leave, but Dario stops her and starts talking. He asks for her birth sign. Zoe, revealing that she is a Capricorn, mentions her birthday is the day before Christmas. Dario jokingly calls her the little goat and asks for her number to update her on Animus. Zoe writes her number on a piece of paper. Alma is seen again with her assistant going back to the class to get her bag back, but she doesn't find it there and panics. Alma then requests her assistant, Nancy, to find the bag no matter what as it contains very important documents. Esteban comes back to the scene and he is going back to his previous workplace. He is meeting with his godfather, who is also his teacher in the profession. He asks his godfather about Leslie Delgado's case. He talks about Brenda's witness statement missing in the files as it was under his custody. He then asks him if he had received an order from the above to do this. He assures his godfather that he doesn't need to tell him the names but just reveal what was in Brenda's statement. The godfather denies telling him as he doesn't remember, but adds that he does remember Brenda though because she was unforgettable. The godfather then has flashbacks from the time he brought Brenda to the police station to identify the criminal regarding Leslie Delgado's case. She points at Antonio Guerra, saying that she knows him in his shop on Teopanzolco Street. She then says that she saw him with the little girl. The flashback ends, and Esteban asks if the son inherited the shop, but the godfather denies, saying that both he and his mom left this place after his death. The background shifts back to Dario as he enters Leonardo's office for the interview. Leonardo and Dario both greet each other and sit for the interview. Esteban comes back to the scene as he is asking his godfather what more he knows about Antonio and his family. Meanwhile, Alma is talking to her therapist about her and Dario. She is frustrated about how she didn't understand that Dario planned all of this. Her therapist tells her that she did find him charming at first, and maybe now, because of fear, she is overreacting. Alma gets agitated and asks if she thinks Alma is paranoid. Her therapist corrects her that she is only saying that Alma might be too anxious to see things objectively now. Alma then questions her if it's true, then why did Dario investigate her whole life online? And why is he trying everything to meet Leonardo? She then gets frustrated and asks her therapist if she thinks that this is a lie too. Alma then blames herself for everything, saying she is the one who let all of this happen. She mocks herself, saying that even though she is highly educated about gender-based violence, she missed all of the signs. The scene shifts to Dario, who has successfully picked up the bag's lock using Zoe's birthday number as the passcode. He opens the bag and finds his dad's criminal file. Alma is seen again talking to her therapist about how she lied to Dario and made him believe that they will see each other again. She added that she made him feel like she still has feelings for him. Then her therapist asks her if she doesn't have feelings for him now. Alma starts crying and replies that she wishes she could say to her that she doesn't, but she still wants him. Alma adds that she just wants an explanation about all of this. Her therapist comforts her, saying that she understands how Alma feels. The scene changes and Zoe is seen trying to record a video message to send to Animus. She finally records one where she is telling him to meet her tomorrow at 10 o'clock in front of Building B if he cares about her. Esteban is now back on the scene, where he is reviewing the footage of the condo and taking notes. He wonders what Brenda was thinking at that time. Leonardo then calls Esteban asking if he is still investigating Leslie Delgado's case. Esteban replies that he is not working on this case again, and has decided to accept the fact that Brenda has committed suicide. Leonardo replies that he was shocked that Esteban still worries about Brenda's case, and adds that both of them know Brenda wasn't just with one man. Leonardo then cuts the call telling him that Alma has returned, and they will talk later. At the same time, Esteban notices Alma and Dario entering Brenda's condo in the footage and starts reviewing more closely. The story goes back to Alma, who is entering the house. Leonardo gets up to greet her. They both kiss each other. Leonardo then tells her that he has brought her favorite wine. Alma thanks him and asks if he was talking to Esteban. Leonardo replies positively, and adds that both of them know how obsessed Esteban is with cases. The scene turns to Esteban, who is looking at the footage where Dario is knocking at Brenda's house that morning. As Brenda opens the door, he enters. After seeing this, Esteban pauses the footage. Alma and Leonardo are seen again as they are enjoying some wine. Leonardo lovingly reminisces and tells her about the time when Alma announced her pregnancy to him. Then they cheer together over some drinks and the calling bell rings. Leonardo gets up to open the door and Alma follows him. Dario enters the house with Leonardo and greets Alma. Alma gets shocked seeing him, but he goes on and greets her. He then adds that he came by to give her bag back as she forgot it in the classroom. Alma thanks him, and he adds that even though he tried to reach her in the parking lot, he couldn't. So he had to come here to give it back. The scene shifts back to Esteban, who is now sitting tight in his chair, watching Dario come out of Brenda's house in the footage from the morning she was found dead. He also notices that Dario doesn't have his belt in the footage. The episode ends with Esteban remembering the fact that Brenda used a man's belt as a tourniquet, and he swears about Dario. To watch more explanations of these kinds of series, click on the videos on your screen. And don't forget to let me know how you feel about today's video in the comments down below. And at last, thanks for watching.